Ready. Play.
Medjedovic finishes with an ace down the tee, and he falls to the ground, and he's the NextGen champion, NextGen Finals champion.
Yeah, perhaps not the champion that we were expecting, but like you sort of knew that Medjedovic. Well, he has this quality in him. It's just a matter of whether he'll be able to tap into it. And as a whole, I think he absolutely was. He was sort of flawless. I mean, throughout the week, other than struggling with himself, really, like with the mental demons, right? No one really came all that close, like in terms of level of play, let's say, and also how constant he was. Like he was just, he kept smashing that forehand, he kept firing these aces, and as a sort of general thing, I mean, he was just all the time bringing that fire to the court.
Yeah, and the serving was elite throughout, right? So
Yeah,
that is something
absolutely.
that really carried him to win in the end. Because, like, I think what you said was pretty accurate. That Feast really had to match him in the serving department, and he never did that consistently enough.
Yeah, he did that for 2 sets. He actually got to the fine. He actually got to the tiebreak in both of them. He got some minor chokes. Well, minor choke in the fourth set from Medjedovic, a huge one in the first set. But that kind of shows you the importance of this, right? When he was able to match him, he at least got Medjedovic into a situation where he was able to get some errors from him, some sort of mental fragility, some sort of instability, I guess. Whereas when he can't match that, when Medjedovic just gets a lot of returns back and they're trading with each other and Fields commits some key backhand errors, then there's no even like a chance for Medjedovic to miss, a chance for Medjedovic to start fighting these mental demons and scar tissue to show up again. So yeah, but overall, I mean, Medjedovic outplayed Fields today, like 100%.
Mhm.
And that goes for all his opponents this week, really. Medjedovic, of course, ends the week undefeated. He picks up over $500,000. And yeah, I think he really just, I tweeted just that just a second ago, but what I was saying before the event, that him and Fields are probably the two ones that I'm sort of expecting like the most constant presence on at the top of the sport from. I think he really cemented this status this week. He really showed that it's doable. And even if the last losses might give you some doubts, because, well, I certainly had was a little discouraged by how he was losing recently. Like, I knew that this is just part of the process and his weapons are way too huge probably in order for him to like get stuck in at some sort of, let's say, this 100-ish ranking that he has right now. But I think this just sets him up beautifully for 2024.
Yeah, and maybe we'll see him as the Serbian number 2 next year.
I wonder if that's bold. Kecmanovic, Jere.
Yeah, I mean
It is kind
it
of
is
bold.
bold. He'd
It is
have to be
kind of bold.
somewhere around what 30 or 35 in the world. So
Yeah. Maybe someone was saying that, I remember in the chats maybe yesterday or 2 days ago, that this event is also like built on pressure points and that sort of action packed format, and it actually can be really helpful to players who are sometimes struggling with the clutch factor. Ghosty, I mean, the Slovak number one, if it's outside the top 100, it doesn't quite have the same ring to it, right? I think it's Molchan. I don't think it's Klein. Klein is probably at like 170 right now. Molchan probably at like 120 or 30. But I don't know if you should be proud about this. It's not exactly a ranking that you know shows Alex Molchan's full talent, and also doesn't really show the strength of Slovak tennis that sometimes we was at a much stronger spot. So I don't know if you should be proud about this one, but well, anyway.
And of course, he
See,
started this event with a 5-set win and ended it with a 5-set win. So
yeah. Matthew also says that maybe he'll keep a lot of this money. I guess this is referring to the taxes in Saudi Arabia. I wonder if I can actually look up what sort of taxes Medjedovic can be looking at in terms of that here. And then if I find the detail sheet for this event, it might be stated there, but I'm not sure if it will be. But yeah, absolutely massive check going his way. We'll see what the Djokovic, deal is going to be like from now. I mean, Medjedovic surely has earned enough now to sort of no tax withheld. Actually, wow,
yeah.
there's no tax, literally 0% tax on the prize money they have here. I mean, I would go there. I would go there 100%. If I was a player, I'm gonna change my mind. Shelton, who said to you, why weren't you here? No, but of course,
Well, I mean, they don't need the money, but
yeah. I mean, honestly, most of these next gen guys don't really need it all that much because they have huge sponsorships, given that they're young and so good, right? But anyway, Slovakia is gonna refuse me entrance to the country. Apparently, that would be a shame because I actually love the Tatras. Also they're challengers, so that would be a big shame. But hopefully that's not the case. They know that I'm a Lucas Klein fan, so they like me there. Obviously, yeah, we'll see. Fields again. He's got tremendous upside. Says Ghosty. Absolutely. Yeah, Djokovic and Medjedovic winning the finals tournaments. I guess we can sort of call it that because on the WTA side we have the Elite Trophy, which I guess is closer to the WTA finals than next gen finals to the ATP. But yeah, still the two finals that we have. It would be perfect, I guess, if Djokovic and Medjedovic won the Davis Cup finals as well, right?
yeah.
Sorry, for Serbia, but of course that didn't materialize. There's a lot of love for Idemos and love for Medjedovic in the chat. Idemo, by the way, I also recently heard is quarantine thing now because his coach is Petar Popovic and he goes Idemo all the time. That's completely random though. But yeah, I love the fact that Medjedovic is going to get a lot of hype from this, because as we stated somewhere during this broadcast, he kind of wasn't getting the hype that was sort of deserved for him after the results that he got this year. I feel like in terms of engagement on social media, despite the two ATP 250s, it wasn't quite as high as for some other, let's say for Striker, for example, right? And I think he deserves to be treated at the sort of same level as Dominic Striker right now. And yeah, what a talent! What a week for him. He actually lost quite a few sets, but I think overall I can still say he was like more or less flawless. I mean that's peak Medjedovic for you right here. And for now, this is the peak Medjedovic. Maybe next year this is going to be transcend into a very different level. Definitely a guy who could still use just a touch more experience, just the ability to end the points, in a different way than just by blasting the ball, or overcome all of these mental things. But anyway, the game is there. I mean, the brute power that he has, and also the way he sort of smartly navigated through some of these matches, like the one today, always sort of bouncing back after losing that tiebreaker. I think that was a really good show, and as a whole, just what a week. And I'm really glad that we got that winner, because I feel like if Fields wins the next gen finals, we don't actually have that sort of springboard for him in 2024. Like his springboard, Fields is already built. His springboard is already in place. Medjedovic's springboard is this event, and that's amazing. And yeah, all the more all the more reasons to be excited for him in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, sort of a lot of people, if they didn't know these other players very well, they knew who Feast was, right? So coming into this event, they were like, oh, Feast is going to win this. No point in even really being fully tuned in, locked in. And then when they see this result, they'll be more intrigued. Hamad will get more hype. and sort of the FIS has already, like you said, laid the groundwork this year by winning his first title in Lyon, getting to another final in Antwerp. Obviously, all the challenger success at the start of the year with all those points in January and February and that indoor February swing. And then, yeah, I mean, he can still grow quite a lot next year in the rankings. And I expect Medjedovic, I mean, I expect both these players to be firmly in the top 50. I mean, I even say that Medjedovic can maybe potentially be the second best Serbian. I don't know if that's bold, but,
It is a
in the top
little.
35.
I think with Kecmanovic and Jere, it is a little bold, but it is doable.
But maybe sort of not really believing in Kecmanovic, putting together week-to-week results, and
I know.
Jera, we saw some good, so we saw some good.
I don't
matches
think
and
it will be Filip Krajinovic. Let's say that.
Yeah. Although you never know, maybe next year he's the comeback player of the year, but I doubt it.
Yeah,
I have my doubts about that. Yeah.
Someone actually recently on Twitter during the Davis Cup finals was asking me whether maybe Medjedovic shouldn't have been Serbia's number 2 pick. And I was like, there is a serious argument that he might have the highest upside out of all these other guys but Djokovic. Like in the long run, definitely. In the right now, maybe. But I just wouldn't, trust him to perform, right? In that sort of scenario. So I think it was perfectly fine not to play him. I don't think the next gen finals makes me think about it different way either. But it might not be long until Medjedovic is Serbia's Davis Cup number 2. Let's say that. And especially in an indoor scenario, right? Like when it's indoor hard courts, you might see Medjedovic playing alongside Djokovic in Davis Cup pretty soon, if Nole is still going to be playing it, because of course his sort of, let's say, I don't want to call it interest, but like his Davis Cup participation was also like up and down over the years. But it is very possible that even if Medjedovic is not Serbia's number 2 in the rankings, he might be Serbia's Davis Cup number 2 very soon, because, well, indoor hard, he does have a higher upside than all of these other guys. Maybe bought like a picky Kecmanovic.
I do think it's also safe to say that Djokovic's protege here has and undoubtedly freed himself of financial assistance.
Yeah, and maybe of that sort of moniker as well. Like,
yep.
I hope that for the general public, this is the moment when he sort of stops being Djokovic's protege and becomes Hamad Medjedovic, the friggin' awesome talent from Serbia. Not that, of course, the Djokovic story isn't cool, and not that we're not going to.
I think, unfortunately, though, as a narrative, it's always going to be mentioned because it's just
going to be, but it doesn't have to be the first like main thing, right? When someone is putting out a tweet about Hamad Medjedovic, it doesn't have to be mentioned in every single one of them. Let's say that.
Yeah.
And I hope that's the case. Like that sort of individual personality and recognition for him has been built through this Jeddah run. I actually don't know how many people watched it. How many tennis fans? We live in a bubble where tennis is the most important thing in the world, and everyone on tennis Twitter is watching the Next Gen Finals. But that doesn't mean that tennis fans are actually watching Next Gen Finals, because very well might be that this event is far less popular than we think. But for us, it was a very good time, and we had a lot of fun doing the commentaries as well. You guys got like 6-7 matches probably this week of the Next Gen Finals commentary. We enjoyed every single one of these, and the target, as you can see, is 5,000 subscribers. I don't know if we can hit that by the end of the week. Probably not. But by the end of the year, it's still possible. We're going to have some off-season content for you as well. But probably this was the last watch-along of 2023 as well. So, well, definitely, because what are you going to have? Some exhibitions? Unless there's a watch-along on the 30th of December. But, I'm treating that as 2024 already. The 2024 season. I don't think Nole funding someone is problematic at all. Like, why is that problematic? I just wish it wasn't like the only thing people know Hamad by. That's on my point. Like, I don't think it's problematic. It's great that Nole invested his money in it, and that he also chose a great player to invest it in. I remember when this sort of became a story, right? It was maybe around the summer last year, and very shortly after that, I was able to see Medjedovic beating Kamil Majchrzak in the opening round at Kozerki at the Challenger, and I remember watching that, and I was like, "Holy hell!" I mean, you invested in a good player, Djokovic. I mean, that was a really good choice, and wow. Even if he was a very good junior, even if he had some massive performances since then, that was like the moment when I felt, wow, that was a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess this is probably gonna be it then.
Yeah, I think we got the two best players of the event in the final, and the final pretty much lived up to
Yeah, it did.
the match that we thought it was going to be at the start. So yeah, it was a good way to finish off the end of the season. And the ATP tour will resume in about 26 days. So
Yeah, the off season is actually not that long. And yeah, was this the best next gen final ever? I think it was, right?
I think so.
I'm not talking about the
Yeah.
whole event. I'm talking about literally
Just the final. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
it could have been a little bit better if Fils was maybe able to compete with Medjedovic, because like as a whole match he kind of wasn't able to. But of course, he got into the two tie breaks, he won them. But still the best one we've had, and certainly better than the last 3 straight set affairs.
Yeah, a lot more drama and a lot more just excitement, I think.
Not exactly a match where we sort of have the two players going back and forth, although, in terms of the sets, you could kind of say that. But at the heart of it is the amazing Medjedovic performance. And there's a lot of drama with Fields pulling out the 2 sets, despite having to save multiple set points in both of them. And in one case, of course, these were also championship points. But anyway, I guess we've said it all. Happy New Year. Yeah.
Yep.
Happy New Year, absolutely. Keep watching the tennis. There's still going to be tennis. There's still going to be some streamed ITFs, at least for a while, not in the Christmas season. There might be some exhibitions. There's going to be 2 WTA 125s next week.
Yeah.
Then one more as well. I think it's like Auger and Montevideo, and then Limoges, or it might not be Montevideo. It's something in South America. It's the only time of the season where I actually watch WTA tennis.
Alicia Parks will have to defend. That's all I know in those events.
Oh yeah, and especially considering that for a while it seemed like there's only going to be one indoor event on the WTA tour in 2024, right? They now added Cluj, but yeah, it's kind of rough for Parks, who defends an indoor title. But anyway, yeah, I think that indeed is going to be all. We've said it 5 times now that we're finishing, and right now I guess we're really wrapping it up. John isn't back from his Guane or whatever that was, so I'm gonna have to end the stream myself. Thank you guys for the attention every day of the week at the NextGen Finals. Such an exciting event, so it was good to live through it with you. And of course, thank you, Vansh, for today's chat, and also the previous one on Mikkelsen and Medjedovic.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, and also good to see all the comments coming in, and also all the engagement in general on the channel recently, because we're hitting 5,000 subscribers and we're fairly close. So if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. Do check out all the other videos. We've done a lot of content this year. I've also been fortunate enough to go to many tournaments as a talking tennis. Well, mostly John, but also just
yeah.
There's also a few of us here and there. So I think this year has been very good for the channel.
Blogoya says that he was looking at Medjedovic training in Belgrade, and loved his forehand. Absolutely, I think definitely a player where you can see how sound technically he is during the practice. So I can imagine that. And that's going to be it. Then Vansh said it best, that there was a lot of content. There's going to be a lot of content as well in 2024, and even in the off season of 2023. So keep
Yeah,
tuning
I'm
in
sure
to
we'll be
that.
recapping, some of the best matches that happened this year, or there'll
Yeah,
be some
off-season
content about
stuff is
that.
gonna be
And
there.
yeah,
Don't worry. So
so
yeah, keep going. Maybe we'll hit the 5,000 subscribers until the end of the year. If not, we know that we're still gonna get some growth in the first months of 2024. So anyway, thank you again, and yeah, we'll see you guys some other time talking tennis as usual.
yep. Cheers, and thanks again.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.